Hey there everyone, I'm Jordan at Afterburner Automation, and today I want to talk about the top 7 benefits of RPA. Before deciding if RPA is right for you or your company, it's important to know if it provides the benefits that you need. At a high level, we'll talk about the 7 most common advantages that RPA delivers, as well as some specific examples of how those advantages might appear in a real-world scenario. Let's get started. Before we get started, I'd like to mention that while RPA can be a very powerful tool when used properly, it's critical to be realistic when making any decision related to a software purchase. I personally believe that RPA is an incredible technology that can revolutionize how we work, but that doesn't mean that it can solve every problem or that it doesn't have limitations. With that in mind, I'm going to try to keep this course from becoming a sales pitch by being honest with you about these limitations as we go over each of the following benefits. So for each benefit that I mention here, I'll also give you a reality check that will tell you how that benefit is limited. Let's start with the number 1 benefit of RPA, efficiency. Bots don't sleep. They don't stop working unless you tell them to, and there's no need to pay them overtime. That means that bots can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year without the need for a break and significantly faster than a human being. Think about an end-of-period closeout task for a finance department. Typically, these types of tasks have to occur within a tight window of time in order to meet a deadline, and that can require that employees stay late and perform tedious reconciliation tasks. While a human may need time to organize the tasks, physically perform them, and then refocus on the next report, an RPA bot stays 100% completely focused on the task at hand and isn't limited by a physical body that takes time to type and move a mouse around the screen. Instead, it utilizes your computer's powerful processor, which executes billions of instructions every second to perform the task in a fraction of the time. Now for the reality check. While bots are extremely fast compared to human beings, they don't perform tasks instantly. Each task still takes time, and there are only so many hours in a day. Depending on how many tasks you have for your bots, you might end up filling up all 24 hours of the day on a single runner machine pretty quickly, which means you may need more runners to perform the work. That brings us to the next benefit of RPA, scalability and flexibility. RPA is an extremely flexible and scalable solution for many use cases. Let's go back to our finance report closeout example from the previous point. In situations like these where timeframes are tight and the workload's high, the solution is often to add additional workers to get the work done. Sometimes there aren't any more workers to add without hiring someone new or outsourcing to a group that's already trained. But with RPA, adding digital workers is simple. In almost every RPA platform, digital workers or bots can be easily cloned to handle additional workload. Usually this cloning process just means running the same bot on more than one runner machine simultaneously in order to finish the same project more quickly than it would with a single bot. This allows you to easily adjust your digital workforce without needing to hire and train more personnel. However, as you might have guessed, if you need a bot and its clones to run simultaneously, you'll also need multiple runner machines for those bots to run on. Additional runners means additional cost, so it's important to remember that scaling up the number of simultaneous bots also scales up your cost when it comes to the number of runners needed to run those bots. The next benefit is accuracy. As I mentioned in the What is RPA video, bots are extremely reliable because they perform tasks the same way every time, and this makes them extremely accurate when compared with human beings. When someone makes a mistake, sometimes you'll hear them say, "I'm only human." Humans get distracted. We might hit the wrong key on the keyboard by accident, or we may not understand the instructions we were given. We've all made mistakes before, and that's a large part of being human. But performing a tedious task like producing several reconciliation reports on a deadline provides several opportunities to make mistakes. There's absolutely no risk, however, of a bot making a mistake. In fact, bots are completely unable to do anything they weren't explicitly told to do, and that brings us to the reality check for bot accuracy. Like I said, bots do exactly what you tell them to do, and if you make a mistake when you tell them what to do, they'll make that mistake. Some people see bot mistakes and think that the bot is the problem, but in reality, it's the instructions that are the problem. This makes it very important to ensure that any bot is thoroughly tested and that the results it produces are correct. RPA has a built-in system that assists with identifying issues in bot code through another concept that I briefly discussed in my What is RPA course, called Auditability. That's our next benefit of RPA. Auditability basically means that a bot's work can be monitored and checked for compliance. Every RPA platform has its own way of logging bot executions in the control room or orchestrator so that administrators or stakeholders can see if a bot completed successfully or not. In addition, most of them have tools that help bot builders make custom logs so that bot tasks can be monitored as closely as needed. If a bot were to produce a reconciliation report that had mistakes, it would be a simple matter to open up a bot's logs and see where the issue might have occurred. These features are extremely helpful in troubleshooting why a bot didn't function as intended, but the reality is that logs are only as detailed as the bot builder makes them. The logging tools are easy to implement, but the implementer must know what information would be useful to log in order for those logs to be helpful in the event that there's an issue. Even simple logs, like the start and end of certain tasks in a process, can be invaluable when diagnosing bot issues. Fortunately, this is very easy to accomplish thanks to the next benefit that RPA provides: a low barrier to entry. Many traditional software solutions require a degree and many years of experience in order to build a well-designed product. But with RPA, anyone can build a bot. One of the major selling points that RPA vendors tend to focus on is that non-technical workers can easily use their RPA product to automate their workload. You may have even heard these products referred to as low-code or no-code products. It's true that most RPA products are extremely simple when compared to traditional software development, with user-friendly interfaces and drag-and-drop commands. To keep with our example, if a company wanted to automate their financial reconciliation process, there wouldn't necessarily be a need to hire an RPA developer. Instead, the process could feasibly be automated by the employees that currently perform that process manually. However, the reality is that despite the low barriers to entry, training is still necessary to use RPA products effectively. In fact, that reality is exactly what inspired me to found Afterburner Automation, because I saw that the promises of RPA vendors were very optimistic when it comes to the reality of building bots. By no means does the training need to be comparable to a computer science degree, but people still need to be taught how to use RPA products effectively, or there will inevitably be struggles when automating more complex processes. This low barrier to entry allows employees to utilize RPA for yet another benefit: increased productivity, and at scale the results can be pretty impressive. Using digital workers to perform high-volume, repetitive tasks not only speeds up the completion of that work, but also empowers human workers to perform more complex work. Bots have several advantages over human beings that we've talked about already, but we human beings also have our own advantages over bots. When a bot removes the mindless, repetitive tasks from our workload, we're more free to use our strengths to anticipate and react to large-scale changes, come up with creative solutions, and ultimately provide better service to our customers. This creates an environment where many employees find their work more fulfilling and exciting than it was prior to implementing RPA. For example, instead of spending the end of a fiscal period producing reports, the same employees can instead spend their time analyzing those reports to make recommendations to leadership. While bots do increase productivity when deployed properly, a reality check is needed to fully understand the cost of increasing productivity with RPA. The fact is that when bots are deployed to increase productivity, they'll eventually require maintenance. Target applications, processes, and input data can all change, and when they do, bots are still following the same instructions they were originally given. In order to address those changes, bot builders or a team of support personnel will be required to maintain the bot code and ensure it's working properly. Despite regular maintenance need, RPA provides a powerful benefit, which is that it's non-disruptive. I mentioned this briefly in the What is RPA course, but this basically means that RPA is compatible with almost any system or target application. Because RPA is able to work with almost any target application without the need to install or configure additional hardware, changes to bots don't require any downtime of the RPA platform itself. Adding additional target applications to your portfolio of automated processes has absolutely no effect on your overall RPA program or your overall enterprise system. And if any target applications have downtime, the only bots or systems that will be affected are bots or systems that use that particular target application. Bots can be introduced into your digital environment without impact to the target applications beyond the process being automated, so no downtime is needed for changes to bots either. For example, perhaps the target application for our reconciliation reports has changed so that the raw data is in a different format. While we'd need to perform maintenance on the bot so that it can properly perform that new process, it wouldn't take down the target application. It might be necessary to revert to the manual process while the bot's being fixed, but otherwise there'd be no impacts to your RPA platform, or the enterprise at large. Now that being said, while bot changes and RPA platform changes won't cause downtime for your target applications, individual bots can be disrupted by changes to target applications or a need for maintenance. It might be necessary to turn off a bot schedule while changes are made, or the bot which needs changes will show failures when it attempts to run. Again, it helps to think of your bot as a digital worker. If a human worker encountered changes in a process that they perform, they'd need some time to learn about and incorporate these changes into their process. Bots are the same way, except that they're incapable of learning and incorporating changes without the intervention of a human being, and so the bot process can be disrupted until a human being can fix the issue. And that's it. These 7 benefits of RPA can give you an idea of what types of results you might see if you were to implement RPA within your own workspace. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. For more RPA training, check out the next video here, or watch everything in order right here. Subscribe to my channel for updates on new content, and become a patron to get access to personalized RPA support. But until next time, I'm Jordan at Afterburner Automation, and I hope this helps you build better bots.